For Complex News, I'm Natasha Martinez. The time for R. Kelly's reckoning is finally here. After decades of alleged sexual abuse and misconduct, even being indicted for 13 counts of child pornography and then being acquitted of all charges in 2008, the disgraced singer is currently on trial for a number of related charges, thanks largely in part to Lifetime's explosive docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. As the trial continues, more and more of his alleged transgressions have been made clearer, painting a portrait of a man in power doing unspeakable things to girls, women, and men, while building what's being referred to by the prosecution as a criminal enterprise. They contend the singer used his fame and power to influence and coerce not only his victims, but those around him. In July 2019, federal prosecutors in New York and Illinois unsealed indictments against R. Kelly. The singer was indicted on 18 charges, which include child pornography production, kidnapping, child sexual exploitation, forced labor, obstruction of justice, and racketeering. There were some lengthy delays due to the pandemic and some superseding charges that were issued by both sets of prosecutors for racketeering, and some of his associates were charged with intimidation and gun threats. These new charges against the singer brought the total amount to 24. The trial kicked off on August 18th. The trial begins with its first witness. The first witness on the stand, Geronda Johnson Pace, revealed to the jury that R. Kelly knew that she was underage in 2009 when they had sexual intercourse in Chicago. After she told him her age, she alleges that he told her to tell everyone that I was 19 and to act 21. R. Kelly's defense lawyer, Nicole Blank Becker, accused alleged victims of being groupies, saying that the sex was consensual at first, but then the girls later became spiteful. He didn't recruit them, they were fans. They came to Mr. Kelly. She continued on to say that the girls enjoyed the notoriety of being able to tell their friends that they were with a superstar. Prosecutors came back describing R. Kelly as a man who used lies, manipulation, threats, and physical abuse to dominate his victims and to avoid accountability for years. Prosecutors allege that R. Kelly used bodyguards, lawyers, drivers, and accountants to cover his crimes, even going so far as to bribe victims by filming them having sex and threatening to share the tapes with the public. Kelly was accused of making victims demonstrate their absolute commitment to him by following strict rules such as deciding what and when they eat and having to ask permission to use the bathroom. They also couldn't look at other men and had to call him daddy. Pace also talked about one time when she failed to abide by his rules. She claimed that he slapped her and choked her until she passed out, and then he put his hands around her neck and forced her to perform a sexual act. She also testified that Kelly wanted her to dress younger than her actual age, which was 16, with him dictating that he wanted her hair in pigtails and for her to dress like a Girl Scout. Prosecution tried to portray Pace as a superfan who was jealous after he supposedly lost interest in her. Former tour manager speaks on marriage to Aaliyah. Later on, R. Kelly's former tour manager, Demetrius Smith, offered new context to the relationship between the singer and Aaliyah. He explained that after they met in 1992, they made music at Aaliyah's home, and the two singers began working closely together. 2 years later, R. Kelly reportedly told Smith that Aaliyah was pregnant. It was then that Kelly and another staff member hatched a plan to get the two singers married so that R. Kelly couldn't get prosecuted for having sex with a minor. Although he initially objected to the plan, Smith eventually helped out by getting Aaliyah a fake ID, saying that she was 18 so that her and Kelly could elope. Smith told the jury that the marriage shouldn't have happened, and it was wrong. R. Kelly and Aaliyah married in a hotel room in Rosemont, Illinois on August 31st, 1994. The jury reportedly saw a marriage certificate listing Aaliyah's age as 18. She was actually 15 at the time, while Kelly was 27. Another testimony from the first week stemmed from a former assistant, Anthony Navarro, who said that he wasn't supposed to look at any of the girls who came into the house. If he did, he would get punished, leading to a dock in pay. He compared working at Kelly's home to the Twilight Zone. R. Kelly's doctor, Dr. Chris McGrath, also testified that he told Kelly that he had genital herpes sometime between 2000 and 2007. McGrath prescribed Valtrex to Kelly to treat the STI and stated that Kelly called in orders for the drug so often that he memorized the number to the Walgreens by heart. Several victims of the singer claimed that he knowingly gave them herpes. Former manager tells all. On August 26, during the second week of the trial, a woman under the name of Stephanie became the third accuser to take the stand. The now 39-year-old woman testified that she had an encounter with the singer starting in the summer of 1999, saying, "That was the lowest time of my life. I've never been treated like that before or since. He humiliated me, he degraded me, he scared me. I'll never forget the way he treated me." As prosecutors try to build a racketeering case, two of R. Kelly's former managers also gave testimony to jurors about R. Kelly being the head of a criminal empire. Tom Arnold worked for R. Kelly for 8 years from 2003 to 2011 and revealed that while driving female visitors to see the singer, he was instructed to turn the rearview mirror up so that he couldn't look at them. Arnold also testified that R. Kelly's way of procuring women was often through having people pass out his phone number, often typing and printing the number to distribute in bulk. Another woman who was 17 during 2015 claimed that she had sex with R. Kelly and testified about the experience. She said she was alone with him for what she thought was a singing audition, but instead, Kelly wanted to have sex. Then over the course of 4 years, she went through mental and physical abuse that came in the form of punishment such as making her have sex with someone she didn't know. She also testified that she got beat by a size 12 Nike sneaker and that she couldn't contact her parents freely, and Kelly monitored all her calls. When she was a junior in high school, the woman found out that she was pregnant. R. Kelly then pushed her to get an abortion, saying he had expressed that he still wanted me to keep my body tight and that he wanted to start a family when he had gotten rid of the rest of the girls. Then, a man who identified himself as Lewis testified recently and claimed that the singer brought him to his home when he was 17 to help out with his music career, but instead, he was sexually abused. He met Kelly while he was working at McDonald's, and then the singer invited the kid and his mother to a party at his mansion. While there, R. Kelly reportedly told him that he should come back for more parties, but alone. After a couple of trips to Kelly's Chocolate Factory studio where they recorded music and Lewis received feedback, the singer asked him whether he had any sexual fantasies involving men, and they engaged in a sexual encounter. Lewis said that he kept going back because he really wanted to make it in music. Their relationship would then continue on for more than 10 years, which ended after Lewis agreed to cooperate with prosecutors. Lewis also testified that on one occasion, R. Kelly had a young woman corralled out of a boxing ring to perform oral sex on the singer. These most recent testimonies continue to paint a terrifying picture. According to another woman, Suzette Mayweather, R. Kelly allegedly made two girls fight each other after catching them twerking during his birthday party. Mayweather expressed that she didn't see the fight, but that she could hear the commotion coming from the studio floor above her. Most recently, a 24-year-old woman named Faith testified that R. Kelly gave her herpes and filmed her without her consent during sex. R. Kelly's trial continues to unfold, and as it does, it's made clearer just how much he misused his power and status to impact so many people. If convicted of his charges, he can face anywhere from 10 years to life in prison. This story is still developing, but that's all for now. For more updates on this and the rest of your news, subscribe to Complex News on YouTube. For Complex, I'm Natasha Martinez.